Hey everybody, Mr. Regan here, and we're going to look at another example of different histogram questions that we're going to be analyzing and how we're going to be using those histograms to understand the population and what's going on with them. So, as always, we're going to be looking at a specific histogram here and a question that goes along with it, and we're going to have to use our knowledge of distribution, variation, and obviously all the different features within a histogram to best answer the question. So we'll go over the answer as always after we take our best shot at it and then hopefully correct any mistakes that we may or may not have. So let's go ahead and get into it. Looking at our histograms, we have our cheetahs again with our different spot sizes. So this is the exact same from our previous question. And most importantly, our question now is going to deal more with the variation of what we're looking at with this population. So let's take a look. The question asks, which statement best describes the variation found in both graphs? So we're looking at which statement we can use to describe the variation in both of our graphs. So let's look at our options. A, the variations are the same for both populations. So when we look at this, are the variations the same? B, graph 1 has a larger variation of traits than number 2. And then C, graph 2 has a larger variation of traits than 1. So A, they're the same. B is graph 1 has more variation. C is graph 2 has more variation. So take a second, decide which one you think it is, A, B, or C. When you think you have the answer, dive into the question for number 3. Go ahead and put your answer in there, A, B, or C. At this point, pause the video because the next thing we're going to talk about is the answer to this question. Good luck. So, how do you think you did? Well, let's look at our options. Which statement best describes the variation found within both graphs? The variations are the same for both populations. Well, that's not quite right. When we look at our two graphs here, graph number 1, if you notice, we're missing variations in the very first and last trait spot. So the smallest possible spot sizes and the largest possible spot sizes do not exist within our cheetah population for graph 1. So really, graph 1 only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 traits that we see within the population. Now, if we look at graph 2, all 10 traits are found within this population. So if I were to randomly pick a cheetah from this population, I would notice that, hey, I can pick almost any cheetah from any trait possible. Now, I'm more likely to pick certain traits than others, but nonetheless, answer C. Graph 2 has a larger variation of traits than 1. Hopefully, we didn't get the distribution of how many traits confused with the variation. If we did, or we don't quite know why 2 has a larger variation than 1, reach out to me. Let's definitely figure that out together. Otherwise, good luck with the rest of the questions.